Student staff one-on-ones are actually one of the most important parts of our job. We have really large staffs on campus, and so we only get the opportunity to meet with our student staff around once every 2 weeks. And so during these opportunities, we really get a chance to kind of highlight some of the individual things going on within the communities, talk about any concerns that they're having, and really kind of create solid plans of action when it comes to addressing those issues within their community. A lot of times in our large staff meetings, we get a chance to kind of talk about community trends. But curricularly with our one-on-ones, we really get a chance to kind of highlight some of the individual components and pieces within the individual communities. And so for me, I get a chance to utilize the catch-ups within our one-on-one space and do something called sociograms within our one-on-ones. And so essentially it's like an architectural diagram of their community. Our RAs and our student staff members get to put the names of the community members down, and I just ask a series of questions, essentially that focus around curiosity, to really get them to highlight some of the individual niches within their community. So are there students involved? Are there any emotional concerns within their community? And it really provides a visual diagram for the staff member so that way they can really create a plan of action that's tailored to their community, so they can know what to do next. I think at the basis of one-on-ones and the basis of a curriculum in general, we really get a chance to build relationships with our staff members. And that really is the start to the work that we do. If we're asking our staff and our students and ourselves to really grow in this process, the relationship is the starting point. I think within the context of one-on-ones too, it really provides an individual framework. While we have these departmental and divisional learning outcomes, it really provides an individual framework for how staff members are going to kind of work through those learning outcomes. And it allows me to kind of break down the language within the learning outcomes to make it more accessible for our student leaders on campus.
The conduct process at Virginia Tech is unlike any other one that I've worked with before. It's really, really personal. I love that it is very, very clear that the student is the focus in those meetings. We work in a structure of agreed resolution meetings where it's the focus that myself or a hearing officer is going to meet with the student and have a conversation and figure out what happened, and be able to agree at the end on what are the best next steps for that student. And I don't know, it's so clear in all of those conversations that the focus is the student and the focus is care, and that Virginia Tech cares about the student, and that at the end, hopefully we've set up a structure of support so that they can be more successful here than they have been, or move on from a bad decision and continue to be successful at Virginia Tech. That's the focus of those meetings, and I think it's really unique that is very, very clear every time we have a student conversation. I find that the student conduct process is the area where I can best utilize and exemplify and bring out our learning outcomes through the entire division. Every conversation that we have with students in this process is about further understanding themselves, why they got into maybe a situation that they did, where a situation that they found themselves did or didn't align with their personal values, and how that's going to help them be the best person that they can. At the end of the day, if students are exploring those questions, they're going to be learning more about themselves, and the more that we all learn about ourselves, the better we show up to the world. When we talk about the context of Virginia Tech and UPROSM, true UPROSM is bringing your best self every time that you show up somewhere, every time that you walk out of your door. And if we're helping students understand that in our conversations, it's hitting all of our outcomes in a really, really positive way. We talk about Hokie respect and what does it mean to be a Hokie in a lot of our conduct conversations. And at the end of the day, it's getting to the point of civility and where someone's values align with that. Where is someone coming from? What are these students' stories before they come to Virginia Tech, and how is that going to play out in their life here every day? How are their personal values going to play out in the decisions that they make? How is their history and their experiences before they've come here going to impact their relationships and their interactions? Those are the points that we hit in these conversations, and our students really connect well, and hopefully are able to live out their values in a more clear and positive way after following the process.
Programming is a really, really exciting way for our RA staff to connect with residents around the curriculum, but in a way that's much less intimate than things like conduct or catch-ups or one-on-ones. I think that's one of the most exciting things about programming is the community aspect that we're allowed to bring to the curriculum. It's really, the success of our programs is very dependent on the relationships that we're asking our student staff to create on a day-to-day basis. The more plugins that they have with our students, the more successful our programs are going to be, the more impactful that I think we're able to make the curriculum. It's not just a static thing, it's a very dynamic opportunity for our students to interact with each other, to allow relationships to impact how they understand what it means to live with other people, what it means to be curious about other people, and all of those things. The community aspect, I think, really highlights programming in the curriculum model here at Tech. The opportunity to recognize where students are and where student staff are and how we use the curriculum in programming, I think is one of the best ways that programming really works in the curriculum model. We as professional staff have the opportunity to create a curriculum, to create a vision for the year, but we're also allowed to get to know who our student staff are and who our students are and allow that to mold and flex what the curriculum and programming in particular looks like. We may anticipate a need for our students, but until we meet them and until we know what that is, we aren't able to really deliver programs that allow the curriculum to come to life and be enhanced in a really intense way. And I think that's one of the most important aspects that programming provides to the residential experience for students. Programming provides a low-risk but high-impact way for students to engage with each other and with our staff. I think most particularly about our weekly tradition outline and format that we have for programs here at Tech. The curriculum is not something that happens every once in a while in a program, but something that happens on a weekly basis. Students know that they can come to something and engage with other people, but it's low risk. And I think that's one of the best things about the way we do things here at Tech is we can deliver a lot to our students, we can be flexible to their needs and the passions of our student staff, and we are still able to do that in a way that is comfortable and inviting for them.
Catch-ups are some intentional conversations that we have with residents. The student staff members go in an informal setting and really talk with the residents to get to know them. It starts off very kind of surface level, tell me about your major, where you're from, things like that, and it kind of over the course of the year builds upon itself, and so we're getting to know the resident on a more deep level. Catch-ups align with the department's curricular outcomes because it really focuses on the curiosity and self-understanding and integrity of the residents. We're really getting to know how they're a unique individual, what kind of things they'll bring to our community, and what kind of values they hold and they believe to be true for themselves. What we hope to get out of the catch-up conversations is really getting to know how our student staff members can help our residents. By getting to know who they are, where they've come from, and what experiences they're bringing to the table, we can help connect them to the university, whether that's resources or getting involved or things like that, making sure that we know how to help them best serve them in the best possible way so that they are really having a successful and a great experience here at Tech.